Ready when y'all are. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, we straight chillin', serial killing, pre-cool villains on the mic, got you reeling. 5-star rated from the floor to the ceiling. If you catch a 1-star, no time for feelings. Got a demon DJ on the ones and twos, by the name Beelzebub, so don't get confused. So grab a seat by the fire, roast them all over two, and prepare to hear the legend of the straight chillin' crew.
What up, nerds, and welcome to another Straight A episode of Straight Chillin', the weekly horror movie review show where you chill and we kill, slice, dice, and chop up yet another horror movie. My name is Bob. I'll be your host for the evening. This is episode 514, recorded on Tuesday, February 4th, 2025. Tonight we're talking about another You Pick the Flick. The movie was chosen by your boy Gabriel, and it is The Curve from 1998. Before we get into it, let me introduce everyone else on the show tonight. First up, calling in from Washington, D.C., we got your boy Randeezy. What's up?
Spring break forever.
What's up, motherfucker? You ready to get into some, what is this, like late 90s, early 2000s aesthetic college bullshit?
Matthew Lillard now with less drool? That's not what we want.
That's
What?
substantially less than we want. If he does not drool everywhere in the new Scream movie, it's gonna be just worthless.
What if he is in ghost form and he's basically like Slimer, just like drooling version of
He's
Slimer, though?
just like
floating?
mysteriously wet on his whole body. Yeah, there you go.
Booga!
We're on something here.
Last but,
Turdy, disco, get it!
last but not least, calling in from Florida, we got your boy Soju. What's up, dog?
Oh, what up? It's your boy Ivy League Stains, boys. Fresh from the old frat party, Alpha Sigma Lambda, signature
I'm-
fraternity.
Part
Those
of
are
the
definitely-
Sigmund fraternity.
Alpha Sigmund Lambda.
The Sigmund
Sigmund
frat house
Mom.
is shaped like a wiener, of course.
Of course.
It's just a
It's
huge
shaped like a
dick.
tiger.
Oh, yeah. That's how you know they're so ferocious.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boys. Are you so ready to talk about The Curve? Big Man on
Yep.
Campus tonight. That's all three of us.
Big
Big
men
man.
on
Big
campus.
Wait, what?
Big Man's on Campus.
Big
Big
men have the old
mans.
10, eh, Bob? Is that right?
Big man's on campus.
This is where we
Big
make jokes
man's
that
got the
no-
old tangs.
Nobody could possibly get these jokes.
You can't.
That's what you
nothing
tune
can be
in for.
parsed from that.
That's what you
Nothing,
tune
not a
in
thing.
for. Thanks for picking this week's flick, Gabriel. We do appreciate the support. Before we get into the review, though, let's tackle a little bit of housekeeping real quick. We do have our February poll currently posted on our Patreon website. Wait a minute, I didn't update this. My bad. March poll. There's a March poll.
Son of a,
Ah,
you
I'm off my
unbelievable
game.
Son
I'm
of
off
a
my
oh,
game.
you must be drunk.
What are you, a
Ah.
goddamn Nazi or something?
Dude, if only I am painfully sober.
If only.
Uh,
It's not the response
Dude,
you wanna
drunk.
get. It's not the response you want to get to that bump.
if only. February poll has closed. Signs did win.
Whoa, all right.
There we
It was
go.
a close race, though.
It was. Yeah, it was pretty close. We're talking about Signs very soon. So we do have a March poll currently posted over on our Patreon website. Juice, this is your takeover poll.
It is. Our takeover months are coming in now. Here we go. Juice is first.
Yeah, your
The
theme.
juice is
Tell us about your theme in your movies. What's going on, Juice? What are you
Let
doing?
me see if I can do that. My theme is, I believe, Dark Disney. Right? Was that correct?
That is what
That's
you
correct.
decided
That
on.
is what
yes.
you
Dude, it's
chose,
been
yes.
weeks, I tell you. So Dark Disney is my theme, and I believe the three movies I ended up picking were Pirates of the Caribbean, Something Wicked This Way Comes, and Black Hole. Is that correct, Bob?
Yeah, I'm writing them down as you say them. So
Okay.
thanks,
You
Black
filthy son of a bitch.
Oh, I think that's actually the big black hole of time, actually.
Big black hole of God damn, that show was so good.
That show is good.
What is it? Fucking
Bored to death
Bored to death.
Bored to Death.
on
Yeah, that shit
HBO.
rules.
Check it
I
out.
will never forget that joke. That shit is so
a
funny.
premiere fucking
Black
succulent ass
Clock of
joke.
time. The big black cock of time. No, you fool. Illiterate.
Like I think they just inserted black into it as well. I
Yeah,
don't
he
think
did. It was
in there.
called Black, or no,
Or
it
no,
was
it was
Clock.
big.
The
Either
Clock
big or
of
black or
Time.
just like
Big clock,
yeah.
clock of time, or so
The
something.
big clock.
Something.
The big clock.
I think it was
Oh
yeah.
shit.
The black clock of time is like the big black cock of time. Big? Where did you get that? That shit rules. God damn that.
I almost
rules.
did a spit take.
The cock of time.
Anyways, those are my three movies.
anyway.
Bob, do we know how
Let's talk
those
about that
numbers,
instead.
those numbers are looking?
Yeah, numbers. I got them. So the black clock of time. The black hole movies in last place with 22% of the vote.
Okay.
Second place, Something Wicked This Way comes with 33% of the vote. First place, you got your Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl with 44% of the vote.
Wow, close
Alright.
race though, and I did forget to clarify that it was Curse of the Black Pearl. So yeah, I was I've always been interested in some darker Disney movies, and I feel like when we were kids, there were a lot more kind of prevalent Disney ones, even though some of them were coming from the 80s and 70s and stuff like that. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to do something a little different. So yeah, I think these would all be fun to talk about. Interesting.
Very upset
Yeah.
you didn't put Return to Oz on this list. Very upset with
I
you.
thought about it, but I'm not as big on that movie as you are. So
It doesn't have
You
your boy
are. I
Yanni
think. I
Deeps
don't-
in it.
Huh?
yeah.
John Deeps is not in it.
Thank God. But yeah, so either way, I'm curious to cover one of those movies, and we'll probably have a special guest on for whatever wins that is a Disney specialist.
Steamboat Willie coming on the show
Yes,
finally.
my boy.
To
Finally.
silently mime into the microphone.
Get those votes in before the end of February. We'll see what dark Disney movie we're talking about this March. We are dropping mini casts every other Friday over on Patreon. With one slight exception, actually. We're going to be dropping 3 back-to-back.
Whoa.
Friday after Friday after Friday.
You're welcome.
So your boy Soju and myself both recorded mini casts on Strange Darling separately and just did not communicate very well. So my episode dropped last Friday. Your boy Soju's thoughts on Strange Darling are dropping this Friday, February 7th. Check it out over on Patreon.
My thick thoughts are coming in this Friday. Get ready.
Wide
gonna-
thoughts.
I'm getting off on being withholding with
Deep
my thoughts.
thoughts.
Don't give me your thoughts, Randy.
I'm not gonna.
Don't
I'm not
do
gonna
it.
give you my thoughts.
God, you're such a tease. Check out Soju's thoughts on Patreon. We do, speaking of Patreon, have one brand new Patreon supporter we got to give mad shouts out
Hell yeah.
to.
All right.
And this is a good one.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
A big,
unlike all the other ones.
a huge, gigantic thank you to your boy Trey's Huge Hog.
Hey!
All right.
That is a special day. Yeah. I love getting
Oh.
the support of the huge hogs out there.
Huge hogs coming at us. Big thanks to Trey and your huge hog. As is per usual, we owe you the straight chilling salute. This one goes out to Trey and his huge hog.
Slap me in the ass.
Thanks for slapping us in the ass.
With
All
your
right.
huge hog.
All
Whoa.
right, Trey.
Yep.
Appreciate you. Hashtag. That is all I got for Patreon. You guys have anything you'd like to plug?
I have another guest spot this week, continuing my guest streak on Don't Believe the Hype. Our episode this week is a track called Evil Twin. So that's the Arctic Monkeys podcast that I've been guesting on a lot. They're going through their 4th season, covering the Arctic Monkeys' Second and Sea album. So, yep, this week we are covering Evil Twin. So check that out. And also, too, I forgot to mention last week, And I don't know, we'll do a live brainstorm right now or just in the upcoming days, but I made a playlist on Spotify. So if you're a Spotify user, there is now a playlist that exists. It's probably incomplete, but I'll do my best to kind of fill it out as best I can. But it's all of our feature episodes. So anytime we've gone on anybody else's podcast, I've added that to this playlist, and so far it's like over 100 hours long. I don't know how many episodes that is, but probably like over 50
Man.
guest spots. But I mean, we've been doing this for 10 years, so and I'm definitely missing some for sure, but I try to go through, some of the biggest podcasts that we feature on a lot. Plug It Up, Light and Shadow, A Coup to Boove, and even like
Waxing
some
the poor paws.
yeah, and he waxing porpoise, and even like some shows that even like aren't around anymore, but that we guested on like back in the day. So, yeah, that's up. If you want, I don't know the best way to share it, so everyone has access to it. Of course, if you're on our Slack, you can hit us up there. If you would like it, you can shoot us an email, and I can like email it to you. But I'll find a way to put it up. But yeah, it's a lot of extra content there if you're jonesing for more straight chilling.
If
Wasn't that
500
nice of me? Hmm?
514 episodes just isn't enough. We got 250 bonus episodes plus at least 50 guest episodes.
Oh yeah.
Look, if we could
And
monetize the
Patreon
sound of us
damn.
taking a shit, we would do it. We're everywhere.
I would. We probably
Nothing is
can.
non-monetizable.
Let's look into that.
Yeah.
Let's look-
Actually,
There's
Hey,
a market.
Bob, go ahead and look into that tomorrow.
you
The
can
okay?
find
market
us on
exists.
our onlyshits.com. Check
Fine.
it out.
Shit my pants.
Onlyshits.com.
Go ahead and shoot us some
/straight
DMs
chilling.
if that's something you're interested in, and maybe we'll work out some kind of deal,
Some deuce M's.
some kind of back room deal,
Mm.
You know?
Some backdoor deal.
Exactly.
Backdoor front room deal. Yeah, I think our house is clean.
I think that's probably true.
His house is clean.
All right, let's get into the main event. We're talking The Curve, and we're kicking it off with the back of the box.
What's on the back of the box?
Bob, I wasn't really looking when we did our screenshot, but do you have this box?
I do not have this box. I'm sorry.
Whoa.
Sorry to disappoint.
Bob, I will say, since you don't have the box, I'm going to make another comment. There's something new, I believe, that's been added to your shelf that's kind of bothering me. It's like your eye line and like slightly to the right. It looks like some doll with a fucked up face. I don't like it, whatever it is.
Take it down.
It's
Is-
a
is it a
Leatherface doll.
Is it? It doesn't. Can you see it, right? It doesn't look like leather.
I
Talking
see
about
what you're
that?
talking
That
about. but
thing,
I
yeah.
can't
It
really
does
tell
not
what it
look like
looks like.
Leatherface.
Yeah, it looks kind of like your like nephew or something made you a shitty.
Yeah. Okay, that is not.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, that is
It's
not
got the
really what it
smock
looked like. Yeah.
And the weird face
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's,
I can see
human
it.
flesh.
It
Yeah.
looked more disturbing from further away.
He doesn't have a chainsaw, though, which is kind of confusing, right?
Yeah.
Well, take it down, Rob.
Well, Bob. That's
Throwing it in the
bothering me.
trash.
Yeah, we won't have this.
The Curve box, I'm pretty sure it exists, probably on VHS or DVD, maybe both. I don't think it ever got Blu-ray or 4K. But this was, I believe it went straight to television.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I believe so.
I didn't know that.
But it is rated R, came out in 1998 with a runtime of an hour and 31 minutes. Alternatively known as Dead Man's Curve. They ended up changing that name because Dead Man on Campus came out like 7 or 8 months before this movie debuted. So very similar plot, very similar name.
It's a shame because that is a way better name than just The Curve. It just-
Yeah.
Yeah. And Dead
like,
Man
what
on
the fuck
Campus.
does that mean?
It's
Yeah, Dead
better
Man
than
on
both.
Campus is not as it's the best title of the bunch. I'll tell you that.
Big Man's on Campus is clearly
Big-
the best
Big
title.
Mangs.
Mangs on campus.
Big Mangs
Bob.
on
Mangs.
campers
And really nice
It
campers
just like-
on
in a
campus.
really nice camper.
makes me think of Bob. Do you remember the Jambulance? Do you remember that?
Yeah! I
Oh
remember
my
that.
god, the Jambulance. Fuck.
The
I
some
remember
somehow
that.
Big Mangs on campers made me think of the Jambulance, which was an ambulance that a church that was around the corner from my house growing up purchased and painted and called it the Jambulance for some Christian thing. I don't know what they're doing with it, but
Christianity.
it was like
It was like
lime
lime
green.
green. Yeah.
I'm sure it's in an impound lot at a police station right now, evidence style. But
that's probably accurate. Yeah, the
Oh
Jambulance.
my god! It's
Dude, we
just-
need to get if we ever get a straight chillin' mobile, we gotta call it the Jambulance.
I don't think I could do it. Not in
doesn't
public.
apply really. Doesn't really apply. Just
Doesn't
covered
apply to
in the sand.
Jesus either.
Well,
Just-
No, it doesn't apply to anything.
I
I mean, it
wasn't
might
implying
apply
that
to
it
doing
did,
ecstasy in New York. Las Vegas is what I was going.
hey, you
for.
want to come jam in the back of my ambulance?
Hey, I've got drinks in my ambulance. You want to come drink in my ambulance
We could.
with me?
You guys could take it to Overlook.
We smoke
God
big
damn.
old joints. It'll be great.
I jam for Jesus. All right, Dan Rosen, your boy Dan Rosen, everybody knows him, wrote and directed this movie. This stars Matthew Lillard, Michael Vartan, Randall Battenkoff, Carrie Russell, Kevin Ruff, your boy Ben Livingston,
My boy
Go
Kevin.
What's going on here?
Ron Livingston's weird brother Ben is in this.
Oh,
Some
really?
other, I don't know if they're actually related.
Oh, okay.
But probably because Livingston. Most likely, some would say. Plot synopsis brought to you by IMDb is as follows. 2 college students kill their roommate and make it look like a suicide. That's it. There you go. Thank you, IMDb. Boys,
Yeah, that is. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
have we seen The Curve before? And would you recommend folks at home check it out? Ray and Deezy, kick us off.
Yeah, I was not aware this was a thing. I knew nothing about this, and I don't think that I strongly recommend it necessarily, unless you really need a little bit of Lillard fix. It's an oddity. I could see people enjoying it maybe, but it's, it didn't leave a very strong impression on me.
Right on. Juice, what about you?
No, I never heard of this before, and I feel the same kind of way. I wouldn't really recommend this movie. It's very 90s, and it definitely has that Lillard action going on. So, I could see where someone might be very curious about this film, but unless those things like really pique your interest, I would not really recommend this movie. Bob, how about you? Would you recommend this?
No, it's a skipper from your boy Bob.
Yeah, I think this is
Bob's-
a hidden gem that needs to stay buried.
Stay hidden.
Yeah.
I mean, Jim kind of implies that you like it. So I don't
Well,
know.
this is a hidden turd that needs to
This
stay
here's a
buried.
hidden turd. Let's go ahead and bury that turd right on back up.
Bury it back up in your ass? Is that...
What? No. What?
Just
You
suck
need
it
to
right back
unshit
up.
this turd.
Jesus
Suck it
Christ.
right back up.
Go ahead and pinch that one off.
This
Jesus
one needs to
Christ.
stay constipated.
God.
Sorry about it, Gabriel, but it doesn't sound like much of a recommend from the Straight Chilling crew. But we're going to be spoiling the shit out of The Curve, and here comes your warning.
Spoiler warning.
Oh, Bob, do you have a convoluted plot synopsis for us?
I got it. I got the screenplay. I'm just going to read the whole thing if that's cool.
No.
No,
that's
I do not want to
cool.
hear those lines again.
Do y'all mind if I read the screenplay?
I mind.
Okay, strap in. Here comes the plot synopsis. Chris and his college roommate Tim aspire to get into Harvard Business School. They become aware of a school policy that if your roommate commits suicide, you automatically get straight A's. They begin hatching a plan to kill their third roommate, Rand, and make it look like a suicide. Chris and Tim buy a bunch of sad books and music to plant in Rand's room. While at a party, Rand forces his girlfriend Natalie to tell him in front of the entire party she is pregnant with his child. He reacts negatively and is generally just a giant piece of shit. Chris and Tim... He fucking is. Chris and Tim meet him out by a cliff. They give him a bottle of tequila filled with rat poison. These boys all have their own separate bottles of tequila and they drink them entirely. It is insane.
Oh, yeah.
They fill it with rat
We've all
poison.
been there, Bob.
Not been there. He drinks it, and Tim throws his ass off the cliff. They also leave a suicide note in a bottle behind. The next day, the dean tells the boys their roommate's dead, but they haven't found the body yet. He also offers them straight A's. When Natalie hears the news, she also throws herself off the same cliff and dies. Some cops interview Chris and Tim throws Chris under the bus. He also tells Chris's girlfriend Emma that Chris killed Rand. Tim then says he will help Chris get his girl back with a somewhat bizarre plan. Tim just goes along with it for some fucking reason. Tim says he's going to take Chris's girl out on a date and they're going to get drinks and have a great fucking time. Meanwhile, Chris, back at her apartment, is going to make it all romantic like. And when he brings her back home, he's going to hide in the closet, then bust out, and then they'll have a party and it'll be great. Tim and Emma get back to the apartment as planned. They start kissing and she starts blowing him all the
He's got a
while.
husband bulge.
Blowing
Oh,
him
well.
kisses?
Blowing in
Sweet little kisses.
sweet little kisses.
Chris is still in the closet. Tim locks eyes with him just in the weirdest way. The scene is fucking nuts. We'll get to
Start stroking.
Guy?
Chris storms out and Tim follows. Emma later tells Chris that Tim got her drunk and that he's double crossing him. Turns out Tim also just now has a gun and he tells Chris he's going to kill himself so that Chris can get straight A's. He already got straight A's this. I don't understand that. Chris records the conversation with the thing in his pocket, but he doesn't do anything with it. The climax happens back at the cliff where Chris pulls a gun on Tim.
Did you write with a thing in his pocket in your synopsis?
I ad-libbed that, actually.
No,
Okay, all right. It's like that's
He's got a
you could
thing.
probably pick up a thesaurus, my guy.
He's got the thing in his pocket. Tim thinks that he and Emma are finally putting a stop to all this by going to the authorities, but then your boy Rand, surprise, reappears at the very end. Tim and Emma Tim and Emma have been playing Chris and back him up against the cliff. Rand wasn't dead. He just went down to West Palm Beach to chill for a few days. Tim tells Chris to kill himself. He tries, but there are no bullets in the gun. Rand takes the gun, loads it, and holds it on Tim. Surprise! Chris and Rand are actually fucking over Tim. They push Tim off a cliff, and I guess Emma really just didn't know what the fuck was going on here because she seemed like she was definitely with Tim, but I don't know. It's all she doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm getting really confused now. I'm starting to think about this movie.
They,
It's a very confusing plot.
They all end up getting straight A's and they get into Harvard. And Rand says he's going to major in drama because he was acting, even though he was not really in the movie. Roll credits.
It was fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Tim was
Emma-
trying to double cross them. Yeah, so Emma
Emma
is
is
not
talking
in on
mad
it, but then
shit.
she just
She's
jumps
in
in
on
on it
part of it.
anyways.
I think she thinks she's in on it because she
With
doesn't
Tim.
realize. Yeah, with Tim, but
But
she
then
doesn't
wouldn't they
realize-
kill her
Chris-
with Tim?
I guess not. Or if they do, they don't show it. I don't know because she is like definitely with Tim for sure. She never like appears to double cross
yeah, no, they
him.
seem to threaten her right at the end into silence,
Do
which is
they?
like I
Okay.
don't fucking understand.
But
Like,
if she was with Tim,
Who is Matthew Lillard, by the way, for those listening?
yeah.
why would they need to go? Okay, wait. So they have the conversation in the cafe. The counselor overhears it. Okay.
Yeah.
But then why would they need to do that whole date thing except to drive? But then she tries to convince him. Then she tells Chris,
Mhm.
"Oh, Tim is trying to double
He's
cross you.
fucking
Why
you
would she
over."
do why
Yeah.
would she do that?"
To get him, like I don't know, like this is the thing that bothers me.
To
is, like,
confuse
the whole
you?
plan to like have it recorded and all that stuff that does nothing. Like,
matter.
That
why
doesn't
is that
help
part of
her.
the plan? Because they
He-
just take the tape. Like it's just done. Like
He
why
does-
I engineer that situation.
He does plan to go to the cops, but not until after he pulls a gun on Tim. Like he's gonna march him into the police office with a gun and then give them the tape or something. Like
Yeah,
Why
but
he even thought
strange.
Tim was going
Well,
to show up out there?
But
Like,
I
if
don't
they
know.
but if they want to blackmail him, or no, not if they want to frame him, then they should have just done the plan without the double cross. Or I mean, there is a double cross, but like they should have just done the plan without Emma telling Chris that Tim is trying to set him up. They would just set him up, right?
I mean, why wouldn't they just go to the party, shove him off a cliff, and make it look like a suicide with a suicide note? Bam, done. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't just do
Yeah,
that.
I
Why
don't.
all the double crossing? I don't know.
I don't know. This
Yeah.
is this is the thing is the whole movie is like it reminds me very much of an episode of Community where called oh shit, what was it? It's like Intro to Conspiracy Theories or something like that. And the whole episode is Jeff makes up a class um and then goes to
That's a
like
great
prove that the class
episode,
really
yeah.
exists. And then there's a professor there, and it just leads down this long thing. And there's like a big scene at the end where like 5 different times the tables turn on somebody, and the dean is just like going along. Literally, he gives up. He's like, I just went along with whoever suggested it. And like, this is what it feels like. It's like way. It's just like one rug pull after the other to the point where it's just pointless and
To
like
be to
confounding.
try and be generous to the movie here. So Rand is an absolute motherfucking piece of shit, and we
Yeah.
are shown that in the movie.
Yeah.
And he knows that his girlfriend is pregnant with his child, and he wants her to get an abortion, but she does not seem like she wants to do that. But after she thinks he has committed suicide, she then also throws herself off the same cliff, and it actually is dead, and they find her body. So maybe
have a sequel.
maybe that was also part of
So,
like they wanted to
okay.
trick her into
I don't
killing
know.
herself.
I
So
don't know
Rand, well,
why.
Rand and Emma could be in on it because Emma is the one who set up the pregnancy because she wasn't actually pregnant. So Rand
Yeah.
and Emma could be on
No,
it
so
together.
I think she was pregnant, but there's a scene where I believe Emma gives her like
She gives
a
her
Plan
the
B pill or
Oh,
whatever.
well, no,
okay.
she initially like there is no
Right.
baby at all. Like she's not pregnant.
No, yeah,
She-
she's not pregnant.
I thought she would because she had the pregnancy test, and then
no, but
she
They
was like,
show-
Renee gave her that, or Carrie Russell rather gave her that.
Emma,
Like,
yeah.
I immediately like for that Emma was in on it was something that I picked up on pretty quickly. But
Mhm.
here's the thing: is like everybody except for I think Renee is in on it on some level. Everybody in this movie is in on it. There's just like 4 levels of it. You know what I mean? Like there's 4 layers of deception going on. So like what who knows what and when
Yeah,
it gets
what
so
the fuck?
lost
So
and
why
it's like I don't understand. I
does
don't understand.
Natalie need to think that she is pregnant exactly? Do
Because
they just
I
want
think
her
that-
to kill herself? Period.
I
Like,
think Emma wants the free.
Well, because so
grade as
Emma gets the
well.
grade. So Emma is definite. So
He
Emma
takes-
is
yeah.
definitely
Okay.
setting her up. Yes,
Yeah.
because that's her roommate. So that's how Emma gets the
As
grade.
far as she knows, she and Tim are engineering this whole thing for themselves.
but then they
Okay,
killed
yes.
Tim, so she is only in on a,
But she doesn't
a
know that that's
portion.
But she
of-
doesn't know. I guess. I guess they don't know that they're
Maybe.
going to
That's
kill
the
Tim.
thing.
But it also
She thinks
doesn't.
that's the plan, but
but it
there's a
also
deeper plan than
doesn't
that.
make sense to kill Tim and not kill Emma.
Yeah, because she
I
knows.
agree with that. Yeah, there's no point in involving her except I don't know what like it's just to do it. Like it's
It was just to
make-
confuse you and
It's
quote
just to
surprise
confuse the
you.
viewer.
Yeah.
It's for the
I'm
viewer's benefit, and
confused.
it actually hurts the viewer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like-
So Chris and Tim set this up to kill Rand, but Chris tells Rand that they're gonna set him up so
Maybe.
that Chris and Rand can later
Double-cross.
double cross Tim because he's a piece of shit.
yeah,
But
I guess.
in order to do
Or
that,
maybe
though,
they planned it from the get-go.
yeah, how
like-
would they do that whole plan without including Emma? Because the whole thing that kicks off the whole thing is the pregnancy, which has to. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't.
Yeah.
The only thing that the only thing that makes sense is Tim,
End of
Lillard,
statement.
and Emma come up with the plan first to do the whole fake pregnancy thing. Then Tim also has to convince Chris to do
Mhm.
the same thing with Rand.
knowing that they were going to double cross Chris.
Yeah, so Tim has to convince Emma and Chris to come up with fake plans to murder their own roommates and make it look like a suicide. Except Tim does all the killing. So why would he need to convince anybody? And why would he even get
I think it's like, well, at least for the up
Yeah.
until the point where we get the double crosses
Oh my
happening and
God.
all that shit, and Rand's back alive or whatever. It makes a kind of sense because he is also simultaneously setting Chris up to take the fall. So, like, to whatever extent they suspect foul play, it will be pinned on Chris, and he's getting off on this. He likes this. Like, Tim's whole thing is like being the puppet master. He loves doing that.
That's what
So,
also
like,
didn't make sense to
but-
me though too, because the reason he gives later in the film, the reason he says the reason I'm double crossing you is because they can't find Rand's body, which he wouldn't know about because Rand's part of the double cross. So he really thinks that Rand's body is missing. But that also doesn't make any sense.
No, neither of them do.
How is Rand alive? Because Lillard said, I'm going to smash his head with a rock before I throw him in the ocean.
But he didn't.
don't think
because
he
the
did.
original double cross, Tim thought that he and Rand were in it together. So he thinks they're staging it, and Chris is going to puke. But Chris and Rand have silently made a pact to that,
Okay.
like, this is all going to happen,
Okay.
and he's going to be like, the focus is going to be put on him.
Okay,
Chris
okay,
knows
yeah.
this. And then eventually Rand's going to come back alive. Tim's going to be like, oop, Rand's alive. You got fucked. And
Yeah.
then Rand is going to be like, actually, you got fucked because he told me about it originally.
But then, yeah,
I
they don't
guess,
need the
like-
pregnancy thing then.
They
No,
never did. They just had to kill one guy.
Yeah.
It doesn't make
Just
sense. When
Chris.
after Rand drinks the whole bottle that has the rat poison in it,
Yeah.
and when he like literally comes back alive for like one last like throat grab, that shit was so silly. So
Oh,
crazy,
yeah.
crazy silly.
Yeah.
Also,
Well, the
like,
fact that you could drink a whole bottle, the idea that you would drink a bottle of rat poison and not know that it's
Also-
rat poison is ridiculous.
well, so Lillard
was
has
very,
the
very
bottle
drunk, in
with the rat
fairness to
poison
that.
first, and he's drinking it, and then whatever Rand is drinking, he says it tastes funny. So they swap bottles, and he allegedly gives him the one with rat poison, and that one tastes okay, and he drinks the whole fucking thing.
it
Well,
doesn't
because
make
they
any
also
sense.
they also did this whole thing where they were like, yeah, you and me, we're going to be drinking basically lemonade, and he's going to
Yeah,
be drinking the other one.
yeah.
And so that's what that's supposed to be in the moment. You're supposed to think, oh, he gave him the bottle with lemonade by mistake. He's
Yeah,
like,
but
"This tastes like
Lillard
lemonade."
drinks it. That's the problem. I get what
Did he
Bob's
drink it?
saying.
I don't know that he did or
I thought
not.
the same thing. I was like, well, that doesn't make any fucking
Yeah,
sense.
so
Well, there's no rat poison though. Like ultimately, there's no rat poison. Because
Yeah,
he's not
that's
really
true.
killing Rand.
Then why would he even say this one tastes funny?
Because he's a fucking lunatic. That's the whole like he's off out of pocket on everything.
it's a mind fuck.
I'm
And
So
sure-
literally,
like-
the original three, everyone knows at some point that they're trying to kill somebody. It's just
Yes.
everyone's thinking a
Everyone's
different
lying.
person
Yeah.
is. So Chris thinks they're going to. No, Chris knows that they're going to end up double crossing Tim. Rand also knows that they're going to end up double crossing Tim. Tim thinks they're going to end up double crossing Chris.
right.
Okay.
And Carrie Russell is with Tim and thinks the same thing.
Oh my god.
But then they don't
Dude.
kill her, and she's like completely available there to fuck
Let-
over their plan.
Let me also make this note because I had a very, very sneaking suspicion. Well, not even a suspicion. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is terrible. But I had to confirm, and I did. It just reminded me to confirm a second ago when Bob was doing his plot synopsis that the guy, the actor playing Chris, and I believe the actor playing Rand, Lillard's a little bit off on this. Close though, close. We're both 30 at the time that this
Sure.
is another one where I
Sure.
was like, okay, these are supposed to be 18-year-olds. Got it. Yeah,
No,
okay.
I don't think. No,
I
they're not.
got
They're
it.
going into grad school. I think they're supposed to be like 24-year-olds.
Grad school. I mean, what that would be 22.
22,
yeah.
Okay.
It depends on when you graduate. I don't know, but
Yeah.
like they're not supposed to be 18 anyway. They're
They're
definitely
not
supposed
supposed to be
in their 20s.
30.
They are. They do look older than they,
They
should.
look-
They look
yeah.
like they're graduating with a master's. Like that's what it looks like.
They
to
look
me.
like doctors. They look like the professors. To be
They don't look like
honest.
doctors. I'm not going to give you that one, but they did look like Dr. Age.
They do look older than they're supposed to be.
agree
Now
with that,
Felicity, she might be closer to where she was supposed to be. Yes, so she was 8 years younger. So if they were 30 and 31, then she was 22. Okay, so
Yeah.
she was the appropriate age.
Yeah, no, she was the right age.
Yeah, okay.
I do think Lillard is, even though he's basically doing a muted version of Stu from Scream,
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
the shining light in this.
For
you know?
sure.
The
He's
movie
the
opens
entertaining
up.
part.
Yeah.
You're right. The movie opens up and he's taking a shit, and then he steals the like giant ring of toilet paper. You know, the kind that you
Yeah,
find in
yeah.
public bathrooms. He steals like two of those bitches. That's how you're
Mhm.
introduced to his character, which is like,
Yeah,
all
he's
right.
basically a character from the fucking New Girl or some shit at the beginning, and then he quickly turns into like this Machiavellian piece of shit.
You know?
Yeah.
I wrote notes on this one as as is lore with this show. Usually, I only write notes when I'm having trouble with a movie in some capacity.
Yeah.
But the first and most prominent note I made was everyone in this movie is an asshole.
Yeah, dude.
And I stand by that, dude. Like, by the time we get to the party,
Except for
and
the
Rand is-
girlfriend, I guess.
no, I think she's totally she's low key an asshole. Like,
Oh, okay.
like first of all, because eventually we find out that she's in on it. She's trying to kill people. So fuck.
No,
you.
not Emma. I meant the one
Oh,
that always
Natalie.
thought she was. Yeah, Natalie.
I
Yeah,
agree
she's-
with that.
she's an
but I was not
innocent, yeah.
convinced when I wrote that she would not turn out
Be
that way.
involved.
I also wasn't sure she was going to be like in the movie that much.
Yeah, she was. And
But
she
like
wasn't,
Lillard's
to
like
be
just
fair.
like making out with these like his roommates' girlfriends and shit randomly, and they're just doing it. Like I don't. Some of the shit that happens in this is like fever dreamy and not in a good way, especially not for a movie that really relies. It really like makes its money on creating a like a mystery that should be solvable. And first of all, it's not. It's just convoluted and confusing. But while you're trying to figure that out, they're also just acting fucking confusingly weird. Like, who the fuck is okay making out with their friends, their boyfriend's roommate as he walks up and just him just being like, "What was that about?" Like, what is
Yeah.
that? Who the fuck does that? You told me you were pregnant, and then no.
Well, they
she
weren't
told me
making
I think.
out. Didn't she give him a
But
kiss
they
on
were
the
kissing.
cheek?
No,
Oh.
it was a mouth kiss.
Was it?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't remember, but I
Like,
I thought
they're
it was a
sitting there
kiss
and
on the
she's-
cheek.
It was him trying to convince her to tell him about the baby and trying to convince her that he wants a baby. And
Yeah.
they're sitting at this cafe, and he just starts like kind of like kissing on her face, and she's just kind of like doesn't quite lean away. She's just sort of like, "Oh, I don't know." And then the boyfriend walks upstairs right next to him, and he's like, "What's going on here?" And they're like, "Nothing, you know." Like, and that's it. That's all that happens. Who the
Yeah.
fuck behaves this
Everybody-
way?
Everybody is a piece of shit in this movie, which would be fine if the plot, like, if the plot really truly called for that, and if the ending was satisfying, like if when
Yeah.
it ended, everybody got like their comeuppance or whatever. But they're
I
just
think
sort of
yeah.
insufferable, and the movie just doesn't really make a lot of sense.
I think what you need is a really lovable character that gets to flip and be
Yeah.
be
I think that's what they were
very
trying to do with
sinister
Chris.
at the yeah, that's the problem. Chris is
But
a
it
big
does not
nothing.
come
Yeah.
off.
Because
No.
if
does
you
not.
if you're feeling bad for Chris, like, oh no, I really feel bad for Chris and he's being manipulated, and then ultimately he does a turn and he comes out on top, then you're like, oh yeah, I was rooting for this person, and it's fun to see them do the flip, right? But that's not, yeah, Chris doesn't, he's kind of a piece of shit too, but like just
Yeah.
not as interesting as Lillard.
But yeah,
No,
the thing is
he
like
is not.
that he's playing. He's like cool. He's like trying to do. Honestly,
He's 30.
It's like they couldn't get Skeet Ulrich to be there, like to do that.
My
Like
boy Skeet.
I don't know. He does not do. He doesn't do a good job. Like I don't think anybody besides Lillard is entertaining to watch or on any
No,
level
I
here.
found old Felicity to be particularly bad.
Really,
There
I
was-
thought Chris was the worst of them. At least
Yeah.
Rand was like a pro. Like he was succeeding at making me hate him from the jump by being the
Yeah,
most
but
over the
he's
top
yeah,
piece
he
of shit in
sucked
the world.
too. Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
pretty
he
bad.
wasn't good, but at least it was like I hated him like I was
Yeah,
supposed
yeah,
to.
yeah.
You know, like I wasn't supposed to dislike Chris, but I just did because it's like throughout the movie when you don't know for sure what his deal is or that he's in on it or whatever, he's just like the most passively like going along with the dumbest, worst shit in the world guy. Like he's pathetic as fuck throughout most of this movie.
Yeah. God, that scene where he takes his girlfriend out, Emma, and they come back to the apartment. One, I was really confused about that. I know that he laid out the plot like I want you to go and buy some flowers and I want you to go buy some candles. But it was still very confusing to me. When they got back to the apartment, I was like, how the fuck did Lillard light all of these candles? There's thousands of
Candle budget,
them.
baby.
Dude, that's such a
On
fire
fleek.
hazard. Dude, there's so many candles.
When
Oh,
when
man.
It
the
would, that's
camera
like that. Even if they were $1 a piece, that's thousands of dollars worth of candles.
when that dude is getting blown and the camera zooms in on his face,
Oh my God.
Uh-huh.
Through the
that moment is out of control.
Dude, the camera work in this is completely batshit. It's like really fucking dumb. I took another note here somewhere where oh yeah, like at certain point he's having Lillard and Chris are having a conversation before the turn, any of that stuff. It's like I don't remember what they said. Like why Chris is like why Emma, or like for whatever reason why Emma, and it just does this weird like Dutch angle zoom into Lillard's face, and he just kind of quietly goes, I don't know. And I'm like, this is like that's the most anticlimactic Dutch angle I've ever seen on anything. Just fucking weird shit like that.
Also, did y'all think that I kind of was with the security guard. I thought they were kind of trying to do a Dewey type
They
of
were trying to do it,
situation.
Dewey. I was gonna say
Okay.
that same fucking
Yeah, a
thing.
lot of this really just seems to be trying to capture some
It's
screen
watered down
success.
Scream. There was an ounce of like meta at the very beginning of this movie, and I was like, oh, are they gonna keep doing that? Which they didn't really, but the
Which part?
when they're talking to Chris, I believe is in the therapist office, and he's asking for like recommendations on like sad music and sad
God,
books
dude.
so he can like keep an eye out on his roommate who he thinks might be suicidal, and if he starts listening to or reading any of this stuff then he'll know. And I think the very last thing the therapist says is like talking about movies, and he's like, anything that's from a first time writer director, oh, I just hate all that shit, and this movie is from a first
Yeah,
time
no, that
writer
I did
director.
notice that actually. Now that you say it,
It
the
was a
one
little
that stuck out
cringy. I was
is
like,
a little
oh
cringy. The
man.
the one that stuck out to me on that though was her saying any music from the 80s is depressing. I'm like,
Yeah,
fucking hair metal?
what?
Michael
Yeah.
Jackson? What the fuck are you talking about? This seems like
Any
not
music
even
from
low
the
hanging
80s.
fruit. It's just fruit that like has fallen
Just
onto the
say
ground
The
and rotted
Cure.
already.
Like,
And that's such a weird thing too, because it wasn't that far removed. Like it's really, it's like it's really weird for me. I know that maybe they were more distinct, but if I said something like, okay, it's 2025. If I said something like, music from 10 years ago, like 2015 is really depressing. Like what a weird statement. Like that
It's so
doesn't,
like blanket sweeping. Like she's giving a lot of specific examples, specific bands, specific
yeah.
movies and stuff. Not
Yeah,
not
The
all of which I agree
Cure
with, but like The Cure makes sense. Like sure,
and
but
the Morrissey band. What's the name of that
anything
band?
from the 80s.
The Doors?
No, Morrissey
No,
wasn't in the Doors.
Oh,
Jim Morrison
Um,
is what you're thinking
Jim
of.
oh yeah.
Morrison.
There you go.
Morrissey's fuck, I'm blanking on it.
Yeah, me too. I am human and I need to be lavish.
The Smiths.
The Smiths, thank
The
you.
Will
Man.
Smiths.
Just like everybody else.
Also, that
wish.
fucking therapist or whatever is just full on giving a blowjob to a Twizzler at one point.
Dude,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
while breaking it to them that their roommate
She's
like,
always got candy in her mouth, though.
it's because they're trying to like make a thing. There's a running gag about her trying to quit smoking, and by the end she's smoking again as Rand is laying out his
I don't think
we're
I
getting
got
the big
that.
reveal. No, like yeah, because they also point out the Nicorette patch or whatever.
Oh
and shit like
yeah,
that.
yeah. God, that just doesn't fucking matter at all.
It was just weird to me
doesn't
that she
matter,
was
and
like she was blowing a lollipop at one point
Yeah,
too.
she was-
She was
Blowing
going
it.
to fucking town.
Damn, that girl loves her a fucking Twizzler.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Well,
Rand at one point tells this fucked up story about how he like ditched his high school girlfriend who friend zoned him, and then like he said he was gonna pick her up for prom and then doesn't, and then gets a $10 whore and takes her to prom, and they take pictures, and the girl like killed herself or something. It's like this really fucked up story that was actually Tim that did it, which I
That's
guess was
oh.
supposed to be a reveal at some point, but
Yeah, but here's
Everybody
I'm sorry.
sucks. So you're like, I don't know. It doesn't fucking
Yeah, like
matter,
I
really.
believe it of both of you. You guys both suck
Yeah.
a lot of dick. But the thing about that's another weird camera moment. Now, I don't know if you remember this, but like when he starts telling that story, they're sitting in this crowded bar with a bunch of like college kids behind them drinking or whatever, and as he starts telling it, it all goes dark behind him, and they do a slow zoom into him,
Mm.
as if it's like the most important thing in the world, but it's like too subtle to matter. Like I barely noticed it, and it's like that story doesn't like yeah, it's a kind of a tragic story, but it's just fucking weird. Like I don't understand what
Yeah.
the point of him saying it is. I don't understand what the point of the story is itself. Like what does that reveal about him? What does that reveal about Rand? Just the like oh, he's got a mean streak in him, and that Tim doesn't know when to shut the fuck up or something. But like we already know that.
Yeah.
It's not. It's just not very interesting. It seems kind of hack to me.
Yes.
Now, I will say, I would like to say one positive thing about this movie, other than Lillard. We did praise Lillard, but
Praise
when
Lillard.
this movie started, like the first 10 minutes before things just that, a lot of the really bad acting comes in and things get really confusing. I will say, I thought that this premise was solid.
I agree.
Just the idea of especially around this time, the 90s. I mean, we're having like more kind of things kind of like this, especially popping up in the media and stuff like that. Especially after Columbine and stuff, like these kind of school tragedies. But like the idea that you get a good grade because your roommate kills themselves and that becomes a murder plot. That's interesting. That's a good
Mhm.
if somebody said, "Hey, I wrote a script and this is the premise." I'd be like, that's cool. That's clever, man. Like
That's a good idea.
it is a good idea. I think it's a good, even as a double cross.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with the bones of this movie. It's just it they it
the
just
flesh.
well.
I have a problem with the bones, not the elevator pitch. The elevator pitch rules.
Yeah, I mean,
It's-
but even
it's when
I
you get
guess
to
the double
nitty-gritty, it's
cross and
just-
even the idea too that the girlfriend is kind of in on it is like somewhat interesting because like she planted the pregnancy thing. Like if
Mhm.
this were a better written movie with some better characters, even that I'd be like, okay, yeah, the girlfriend's
Mhm.
in on it, and that's a big reveal because you think she's innocent, or maybe at some point you think she's in danger, but she also wants the grade too. Yeah, I can get down on most of that, but it's how they, yeah, it is. It's how they flesh it out, Bob, that makes it really bad.
I'm all
Here's the
about
thing-
the stairs in this movie, but I'm not about the hardwood flooring.
Uh-huh.
That's
Oh,
what
wow,
I don't
okay.
like.
You want
Man, you
carpet,
big
you want
carpeting guy.
shag carpet is what you want.
What's a bearskin rug? I don't know, man. Like
Who
there's
doesn't?
some good things to this, but like the premise is probably the chief among them. Lillard is pretty good. I also wrote that really did like that little soliloquy Lillard did about how guilt is for kids and all that stuff. Like it, like that shit. Like I don't understand the cigar, this smoking in this. I don't know if Winston Salem fucking sponsored this fucking movie or what, but they smoke like fucking crazy in this. But like I just kept hearing him say that, and I was like, yeah, this is like psychopath talk. Like guilt's for kids, blah, 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 all this shit. Like okay, yeah, justifying like insane behavior because you don't have the capability to feel those things. That makes sense. I don't know. I liked little things like that, a few little things. The problem is like this movie hinges on like twists, and it does it multiple times, and every single time it's not like a lock unclicking. Like it's not like a door suddenly opening. You're like, oh shit. It's like, wait,
Oh,
what? Are
okay.
you, huh?
Oh,
Okay, I
okay.
guess. Or it's like, yeah, I saw
Huh.
that coming. Like it's either like, yeah, I saw
Huh.
that coming a mile away, or it's like, how does that make sense? I don't know. I don't have time to parse that.
Huh. Lillard had
Mm.
a great line in this movie. He's just like talking mad shit to Chris. He's like, "Do you even know what Starbucks means? Star, universe, bucks, money. Money runs the universe."
That's just like
Nailed it.
brilliant late 90s
Nailed
And
it.
bullshit.
even 98. Ooh, Starbucks
It
has been
also-
around for a hot minute.
It also reminded me of Juice Star and Bobby Bucks, everybody's
Oh,
favorite
yeah.
musical duo.
You're still in my
Oh,
phone as
yeah.
Bobby Bucks.
Bobby Buck, don't you ever
Till
change
it's
it.
like if anybody ever tried to look at my phone and be like, "What's Rob's phone number?" I need to know. They would never find it.
My name
Rob
is
would
Money.
immediately be clocked as a fucking drug dealer.
I think Randy's. I think still says Android.
That
Banana
says,
Man.
It says
yours on mine
Android.
says tool, money, pound scent. Like I don't remember why.
Eggplant.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
but it was
does.
all
It
like
says
dollar signs.
Bobby and Android is our it's our group.
I don't understand, man.
I never
There's- I have a-
change anything.
Nice.
Bobby
I also
and
got
Android.
I got some like fear vibes in this movie.
Yeah.
like, Wahlberg's Fear,
Yeah,
where it's like
that's
it's the tone that they're going for, but not quite hitting. Like it's that
It's not
shooting just
audacious
wide
enough, really.
of the thriller.
also
but
also to that
having
kind
a
of twist
character
of you
actor,
don't
like
know
really big digging
who's-
into it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that too.
Nothing,
So-
almost nothing about this really made me go like, "Oh my God," like even
No.
Lillard feels reserved, and he's like the craziest motherfucker in the movie, and you're like, okay, well he could have done a little more. He's at like a 7 for Lillard, maybe.
Yeah, I mean he does fine. It's just I think it's not Lillard's fault. It's just like
I'm not blaming him. No.
there wasn't anything in this movie that like okay, for instance, even the reveal that the girlfriend committed suicide, they didn't like give that any time.
No,
I
they
didn't
gave it-
feel
they glossed it pretty
anything.
Yeah.
You should feel bad for that character. You
They
think
show-
she's
bad.
pregnant. I mean,
They show
I
the
feel a little
cops.
bad, but it's just like
They show the cops pulling her out of the water for like a second, and then
Yeah.
they never really talk about it again.
I had to like kind of. I think I went back and I was like, wait. Am I
Did she really kill
understanding
herself?
this
Yeah.
right?
I did the same thing. I was like, did she really?
Really?
Yeah, I was
Because
like,
that's a
whoa,
corpse.
wait,
I think she
yeah.
really did.
So
Oh, yeah, I watched her go off. I was like, oh, okay. I
which
guess
is which is
unintended
really
consequences,
weird
sure.
because the last time we see her, that's not the impression that you get at all.
Well, what is the last time we see her? I
Like
don't
the last
remember.
time we see her is when I think she runs off and she thinks that Rand, well, maybe not. I don't know.
Ooh,
Rand
Anyways,
runs off, and then he dies.
I know
and
she comes
then-
into the dorm room and she's talking
yeah.
to Chris, but she's
and she takes his
mad.
photo back.
She says, "Yeah, I'm gonna go back to Canada," and then I think we just see that she's committed suicide. And I'm like,
no, that's
well,
true. Actually,
they do. This is not executed well.
it's not. I can understand. Like, I wish they hadn't included that because the thing is, like, I can understand why she would kill herself to some degree because, like, this
Sure,
guy
the
treated her like
logic
shit.
is
He killed
okay.
herself, and she's a Catholic. She's now an unwed mother. Her parents are going to
Yes.
disown her. All this other shit. Like,
Yes.
like I understand all that, but then they kind of, you're right. They kind of undercut that with the scene of her like having other plans entirely. I don't know what changed
Yeah.
between that scene and her jumping off the cliff. She just kind of
Except
did.
at that point, well, I know what changed. At that point, she doesn't think Rand is dead because she's mad and she takes the picture
Oh,
back.
that's true.
But that's the
yeah.
last time that we see her. So we think
Why would
she's
that-
going to
you're leaving
Canada.
him.
Yeah.
You're leaving him
yeah.
because he sucks.
Yeah. And
So,
so
I
when
don't
we
know.
find out that Rand is dead, we don't see her mourning or saying like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I did this." She's just a blip
She does
in
go
a
to his-
conversation.
Yeah.
Wake.
I
She
guess
does-
so.
They give it no weight at all. And it
I
should
thought
have-
that was
Yeah.
I thought that was gonna be better than it was. So that was another point that I started to like, where each time they had this candlelight vigil and they just added a picture, because first
Yeah.
it was Rand, but then it was her, and I thought that they were gonna keep doing that, like more people were gonna kind of keep getting caught up in this web, and I was like, okay, that's kind of
therapist.
darkly, yeah, it's like darkly
Yeah.
funny,
Yeah.
but that was the last time, and I was like, oh man, they didn't do that. So I
Yeah.
thought that's where this movie was headed. I thought it was going to get to a point where I thought Rand really was dead, but they couldn't find the body. So people keep getting desperate and keep trying to kill other people in these convoluted ways, and it's going to kind of be a dark comedy, but
Mm.
it wasn't.
Yeah, it doesn't.
They tried
I mean,
for comedy a few times though.
we're essentially wrapping this thing up. I was gonna say any other
Yeah.
major points. We're kind of doing it already. The crux of this movie is like a double cross, and then a bunch of other things happen that you could never really be able to parse out on your own. And then the end is just a different double cross, and you're like, okay, well, we saw that in the first 15 minutes. It's just kind of done again in the last 15 minutes, and you're like, okay. Not
Yeah.
much
Double
really
cross after
changed.
double cross. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
Tim and Chris are
Okay.
in this fucked up thing together. Oh my god, he's
Yeah.
framing Chris. Oh my god, like
Yeah.
and then another, and then another, and then another. It's like, okay, diminishing returns.
Yeah.
yeah.
Randy, kick us off. Rate this bad boy out of 5. How do you feel?
So yeah, we've complained a lot about this, but like I said, there are a few things I liked about it. The performance from Millard was kind of muted, Stu, which didn't quite fulfill what I wanted out of him. Like if you're gonna go Stu, go Stu, go full Lillard. But he was going pretty hard with it, so it was not unenjoyable to watch. Um, I really hated everybody in this movie, and from the moment like they went to that party and they interacted with the disabled guy, and Tim ripped him off for $10, and fucking Carrie Russell does nothing to stop it, and neither does Renee, and neither does fucking Chris. They all just kind of like let this dude be manipulated. I was just like, I don't like anybody in this movie, and I suspect all of them of foul play at this point. Like I am. That's really what spurred on this thought to me. Is like, okay, well, not one of these people is trustworthy, and so from that point on, I just like I pretty much immediately clocked Carrie Russell as being like in on it or whatever. And there were several scenes that kind of indicated that. But like, in order to cover their tracks on that, they just kept like flipping the fucking, like spinning the rug around, and just the diminishing returns are too much for me, man. And then the look of the camera work was sometimes, most of the time, fine, but then they make really weird choices with it sometimes. The characters are not well act like we were supposed to pin all of our hope, all of our care on Chris and like Renee and Carrie Russell, but not one of those people besides Renee or had any of my sympathy. Pretty much, I was just not. I just didn't trust and Carrie Russell. I didn't really suspect Chris because that was like they're not going to like do 4 twists, and they did, but like he's just not selling it for me at all. And then Renee is just not given the proper weight, I don't think, to really like get where she needs to be. The best thing she does is create a somebody for Rand to be cruel towards, and for no reason, just to give you that hatred of him, and can sort of understand like their logic of doing this initially and all this stuff. I don't know. It just the Dewey cop like talking about fucking reefer and shit, like it was cringy. That's my banh mi sandwich line is that fucking pot scene. And like, oh my, I don't know. I could go on and on about like all these little things that just kind of bothered me. But there are little things I liked. There was an N64 and a Game Boy in this movie, so Nintendo paid a pretty penny to be in
Plus
this.
a half star.
Mm-hmm. There's
Mhm.
Vince Vaughn was on the dartboard. I believe it was Vince Vaughn. That was pretty funny.
It was, yeah. Trivia. You nailed it, Randy.
Yeah. The coppers were not funny, but I kind of laughed at them trying to make them funny. When he said, "You're making me regurgitatious," I was like, "That's
Yeah,
some
yeah.
comic book horse shit."
Yeah.
I
I
kind
like
of
how
love
he
it for all the
made
reasons they don't
words
want
up
me
and
to.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. The smoking, so much fucking smoking. I don't know, man. It just seems like it's trying to be kind of edgy, but ultimately it's just kind of confusing and strange. I'm gonna give it, I think, a 2. I think that's where I'm at with it.
2 from Randeezy Juice. What about you?
Yeah, as I said before, it's kind of a shame because I mean, thinking about it, there are like some things that I don't know, in a movie that's a little bit better acted or executed would hit better, I think. There are these little moments of comedy that could have hit a little stronger. Like I said, the premise is solid, Lillard is solid, and the comedy like is almost there, like it could have been there. And it's got some weirdness that could have been more impactful, but I think it all just kind of falls apart. It gets way too complicated. I think this director just kind of didn't do a good job. And yeah, the execution of it, I think, is really what hurts it because I think that there's a universe where, the things with the psychiatrist or the counselor or whatever comes off stronger or funnier, and the things with the cops comes off stronger and funnier, and the things with like the memorial comes off stronger and funnier. It's just not here. These people are too old. They're not acting well. So I don't know why you felt you need to cast them because they're just nothing matches up here. And yeah, everyone's kind of a piece of shit. And I'm not gonna lie that in the first like 15 minutes, I kept getting Chris and Rand mixed up. I was like, damn, these white boys just look the fucking same.
Goddamn
I just
white
couldn't. I
boys.
was so that was even kind of confusing me about who the fuck was who and how they were like intertwined together. I don't know. Something about this movie is just naturally very confusing. They did not do a good job of like leading me. I felt strained kind of the whole way through. So I'm gonna echo Randy. I'm also going to give this a 2. Bob, how do you feel about The Curve?
Pretty much on the same level as you guys here. This movie, like the really like the only emotion I experienced while watching this was like annoyance. Like I was just annoyed by the characters and like by the plotting, and you guys seem generally interested in at least like baseline plot of like should your roommate commit
Yeah.
suicide, you get straight in. I thought that idea was stupid,
Mm.
but if it was like portrayed by characters that were really selling it, and I was somehow able to find an emotional inroad, like the innocent girl that who thinks that she is pregnant and commits suicide, like that should hold weight, and it doesn't. So there's just like no access point for me, and I was just annoyed at all these really shitty people treating each other in really horrible ways. Lillard has a couple funny lines. The detectives have a couple funny lines. I just felt myself bored as fuck, and like I kind of couldn't wait for it to be over. And then when like the big reveal happened, it was like kind of like whoop de fucking do. Like I just did not care at all, honestly. And
Yeah.
like even like we were obviously a little confused on like the inner workings of exactly who knew exactly what. And I think that is on the movie for not doing a good job at the big reveal at the end. But also at the end of the day, like if I were to watch this again and like really like pay even closer attention and like try and parse it out, like the juice is not worth the squeeze. The movie's not interesting enough to like even care to do that. Like I just don't really care. It's a 1 star. I think this movie sucks. Sorry.
Wow. We haven't had Bob this riled up since the
Bob,
lodge.
yeah,
It
this
is not
good. I
Sorry,
like
y'all.
Goodness
seeing
gracious.
Bob get it under his skin a little bit there.
Yeah, it's
One
really
star
bothering
for
Bob.
Lillard only. That's
Yeah.
about it.
That's
Uh,
enough.
Sorry, Gabriel. We love you. We just don't love this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's gonna
It's a
put our
nice oddity though. I don't regret having seen
yeah.
it just for like I don't know. It's a weird
Yeah,
thing.
to for the cast of this movie, especially Lillard, 2 years off of Scream, and to he's been in bigger horror movies and just gone on and stuff like that. To never even heard of this is and like to be asked to watch it, that's yeah, that's not a negative thing for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, a totally off the beaten path Matthew Lillard movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's solid.
Yeah, solid pick. That's going to put our aggregate here at a 1.6. And whenever you guys do choose a movie for us
It's
to
been a
review,
rough couple weeks.
it has.
For the patrons, yeah.
It really has. I think the past 3 weeks has been like a 1.8, a 1.8, a
Yeah.
1.6. It's
1.5.
Come on,
I don't
guys.
know. Yeah,
Come
1.8,
on. Come
1.8,
on,
1.8.
y'all. Come
Wow,
on
for
now.
1.6.
Come
Yeah.
on now. Why you
Don't
gotta
worry,
do us
next
dirty
week we
like
got
this?
Well, one of those was Wolfman. That's not on anybody.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah.
No, that's true.
Except for fucking Jason Blum. That's on you.
Well, yeah.
Whenever you guys do pick a movie for us to review, we do give the option to send over a voicemail or an email with your own thoughts and ratings. And Gabriel did send over an email, so let's hear what he has to say about The Curve.
All right. Oh, yeah, get ready to feel kind of bad.
All right.
Hello again, Straight Chilling Crew. I picked The Curve 1998 because I just had to get Matthew Lillard's hidden gem talked about on the podcast. He has so many quotes and one-liners that would make a good audio soundbite. I hope you gentlemen during this viewing felt 90s thriller nostalgia and dark comedy galore. I've heard multiple people call this movie Stu from Scream Goes to College, and like Psychotic Stu, Tim is definitely straight chilling. See what you did there, my guy.
Whoa.
Whoa,
That's the name of the show.
Whoa, wah, wah, ba, 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 ba. His snickering laugh and facial expressions throughout crack me up every time. I first heard about this back in 1998 because I saw Lillard on the Keenan Wayans show talking about how this movie was a big hit at the Sundance Film Festival. And me being a big Scream fan, I had to watch it once it was available to buy on DVD. Some moments that director Dan Rosen did do very well, including the monologue talking about the horror prom date, while the crowd in the background get darkened out and silenced. The quick to camera zoom in shots of Tim and Chris during the police questioning, the multiple lighthouse sequences, and the hiding in the closet blowjob scene. The music soundtrack is decent. We didn't talk about that. Neve
I agree with that,
Campbell,
actually.
yeah, Neve Campbell name drop was fun. Another fun name drop was Mr. Baseball, Tom Selleck, Species 1, Species 2, laugh out loud. All the other roommate characters are all obvious pieces of shit, including Ernie, the security guard. Carrie Russell very quietly and slowly falls into cooterdom. I like Dana Delaney as Dr. Ashley trying all the ways to quit smoking, and by the end of all the chaos, has her ashtray full to the brim. On first watch, I never did see all the twists and turns coming, and that's pretty much the selling point for me that makes me give this movie a 3. But Matthew Lillard's performance and Kerry Russell's curls give it an extra 1. So my rating is 4 Gilbert Grapes out of 5. Whoa, 4 out of 5. That is
All stars out of five.
that is quite higher than
That
the
curly
straight
hair is
Sean
carrying
Connery.
a lot of weight.
Yeah. She did look good. I'm not gonna lie. I remembered
Oh,
old
yeah, she's a
Felicity
good-looking
from back
lady.
in the day.
Mhm.
I mean, she's a pretty good actress. I've seen her in a couple things that I was
She wasn't
fine
good
with.
in this, but
Not in this though. Yeah,
I think you were about to say
don't
great
mistake
and then
me.
stopped yourself to say
she's
pretty good.
Pretty good. She's a great. She's pretty
She's
good.
a good, pretty good.
She's
She's a
great.
great-
She's pretty good.
She's got a
Yeah,
great,
good.
pretty good career.
Yep. No, she's good. Not in this though.
Thanks for picking this flick,
Yeah.
Gabriel.
She's
Glad that you
good.
really
She's
dig
good. Yeah, it's good.
it.
I don't believe you.
It's like
Hey,
you don't
here's
want to
a
insult
question.
your mom for cooking you a meal. Like, yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good.
It's good.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Oh, that's good. It's real good. The higher pitch you
I
get,
like
the
it.
worse it actually
I really like it.
Real good.
Thanks. Thank
Real
you.
good.
That's really good.
Eat fast.
Pretty good.
Just what I wanted.
Here's a
good.
question.
Yeah.
They did this. They had this poster in this movie that they paid special significance to, and I just realized that what's on that poster is also the tagline, and it is "You don't win silver, you lose gold." Now you tell me what the fuck that has to do with anything.
Brother, I
my
just don't. I
gosh.
don't. Know
Also,
what to
too. Oh
say.
man, I forgot to talk about how cringe like all that. Again, this dude's supposed to be like 20 years old. All the like dick jokes about him not being able to like get a boner and shit. I was like, what? This is so
I don't
weird.
understand, man. Also, like you're watching your girlfriend blow a guy in a closet. You can come out of that closet and say, "Hey, don't do that."
Hey.
Get your
He's
dick out of my
manipulating
mouth.
you. And I know that we
Hey.
had a longer game at this point, but at the time I was just like, this guy is fucking pathetic.
Maybe
Go out there and just be like, hey, fuck you at least.
maybe he unlocked a
Hey.
new kink, and that's his cup closet.
Yeah, he likes to lock eyes.
Maybe
you
he's
know?
maybe he is a very, very willing cuck. We just don't know. The
Hey.
science isn't there.
Don't do.
Hey,
Hey,
you better
please
stop.
don't.
Please
I'm here.
It's the first time I've got
It's
a boner
bad.
in 6 months.
That
Yeah.
dude cranked one out in the closet. That's why I didn't come out immediately. He's like, "Oh yeah,
That
I
boy's
lit all
doing
these
it to
candles,
bully
and it really
porn.
paid off."
The candles, there's so many. There's so many candles. You need
Oh.
like 20 tops.
Wow,
Ow.
two.
Well,
like,
Juice.
Oh,
I
damn
mean, I feel sorry for your wife. Only 20 candles. Are you kidding? You gotta have 50 minimum,
Jesus Christ.
Bob's gonna burn all those blues to the ground.
dude. Candle budget on fleek. I got about 3 dozen Yankee candles in the closet.
3
right
dozen.
now.
Damn, all those
All different
scents. Yeah,
flavors.
all those scents are just.
Smells like a goddamn
You-
Hollister in this bitch.
You just passed the fuck out. Oh God, I can't breathe. That really gets me
50
going,
Yankee
though.
candle.
Yankee
God.
candle is asphyxiation.
I don't know how people work in stores like that. I would.
Dude, I
It's
don't know, man.
like, dude, I can't stay in there more than
assaulting.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
God damn. All right.
More for
Anyways.
them.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks again, Gabriel. Let's go and jump over to our Rotten Tomatoes segment, see what the critics and users have to say about The Curve.
Certified fresh to death.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Rotten Tomatoes segment in which I'm going to have you folks guess within the best of your ability what the aggregate positive score is for The Curve / Dead Man's Curve on RottenTomatoes.com, starting with the critic score or the tomatometer, and then moving on to the user score or the poopometer. So the critic scores, there are only 8 reviews for this movie counted, so factor that in.
How many?
8, just 8, not even 10 here. So
Factor in.
playing with some pretty low numbers.
Numblers.
Numblers, yes. How many numblers can you name? I'm gonna start with let's say Juice this week. Out of those 8 reviews, what percentage would you guess are positive reviews?
I don't think a lot, Randy. And it's hard to gauge because it's older and you never know with like 90s films and shit. But doing some quick math, I'm going to put it around 48.
48. All right. 48 from Soju. Bob, where are you coming in on this?
Yeah, that's a pretty good guess. I'll take. Oh man, I'll take the over, I guess, just with a 50 right down the middle.
All right, the 50 split. Okay. Well, I'm sorry to say it's not 49. But one of you is closer than the other. You're just 48 percentage points off.
Oh my
Because
god!
this is a goose egg 0%.
Dude, we
on
had
Tomatoes.
2. Something
Goose
else
egg.
was 0. Was it elves?
Elves,
Yeah,
probably.
back-to-back weeks. 2 Patreon picks back-to-back weeks.
Damn.
0.
That's rare.
That
That's
is
a very rare
rare.
score. Damn, dude.
Man,
Damn.
the
Whoa.
8 reviewers did not care for The Curve.
God damn.
Let's move over to the poopometer. There are 2,500 plus ratings from the users here. We'll go in reverse order. Bob, why don't you kick us off? What percentage of those 2,500 plus ratings would you guess are positive?
Damn, dog. I guess let me reevaluate here. Probably on the lower side of things. I guess if people saw Scream and then caught this with another like Lillard goes to college movie, I could see people being pretty fucking disappointed in this. But like I said, I believe it went straight to television. I don't think it got a theatrical
I don't know
release.
how there's a blowjob scene. How did they do? Okay, whatever.
Well, I mean, there's
It was
no
guess
peeing on
cable
the
was out,
screen,
but-
Randy. You know, it
No
was.
peeing on the screen.
Keep going. Peeing off my screen.
I'll take. I think yeah. I'll take a 30%.
30 percentile from Bobbert. All right, Soju, round us out.
That critic number's really throwing me off. I mean, if it was somewhere around where I thought it would be, then I would guess that the audience score would be higher. I don't know. Like Gabe putting it at a 4, it's kind of throwing me off. So I think 2,000 people are gonna say, hell yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
But no,
What number?
I really think that they're gonna
Give
go
me
a little
your
higher.
number.
So Bob said 38. I'll go. I'll take my old 48. I don't know. I like that number tonight.
The old 48. All right. Well, you guys are significantly closer this time. One of you is just 6 percentage points away from the correct answer. That correct answer is 54%. So, Soju, you're going to take this one here.
That's a hell yeah, sweet.
That's a fuck.
Oh yeah.
That's a fuck.
We're not skeeting tonight, Bob.
Fuck.
Bob can't get it.
We're all just cucks in a closet tonight.
Speak for yourself.
Cucks in a closet. Cucks in a closet.
Sniffing our Yankee candles.
Just passing the
damn.
fuck out.
Oh my god.
All right. So yeah, 54% was the correct answer there. Let's read some negative reviews. There's no consensus. There's not enough material for them to make a consensus out of. But let's read some reviews here anyway. Here's one. Rosen isn't quite clever enough as either a writer or director to pull off the multiple twists twist's curve finally takes. The satiric edge and much of the movie's logic disappear in its last 20 minutes. I largely agree with that.
Yep.
That's accurate.
I would say the satiric edge does not exist, maybe. I don't
Yeah.
really see what it's satirizing exactly.
Itself.
I don't know.
God, this movie
Tell
really
that
just
to the
wanted to be
Kalamazoo
Scream,
Gazette.
didn't it? But like Scream
Yes.
for the twist. Well, I mean Scream had a twist, but I guess for like murder
the mystery
mystery. Yeah,
aspect,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Let's read another. So concerned about its plot that it doesn't pay much attention at all to its characters, and therefore the film only comes off feeling even more empty-headed. I mean, that sounds pretty accurate to me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, let's read one user review just for the fuck of it.
It's a hard roll there.
It sure is. Here's a
On the road
5-star
to
review.
0%.
I loved it. The end was so unexpected. Thank you, user.
Of course it was. It had to
Very
be
good.
unexpected. There's no way you could expect it.
All right,
No
that's it for
way.
Rotten Tomatoes, though. Bob, how's that trivia looking?
You know, I bet Rand went down to West Palm Beach for about 2 weeks. I bet that's how this movie's gonna end.
Yep,
There's no
that's
way to
how-
expect it.
You could think that you could expect a double cross. I was
Well, they
expecting Carrie
did
Russell to
say
double
that.
cross.
No. Nobody said that. Never mind.
No,
Nobody.
nobody
Nobody.
said
Nobody
that.
could have said that.
There was very minimal trivia, of which we've really already squeaked into the discussion. So let's just keep cruising and hit up our Cooter of the Week.
Straight chillin'. Gooder of the week.
Juice, what is a Cooter and why do we hunt them?
Well, Cooter's character type
One.
and and a straight Sean exclusive. Cooter has to hit 3 of these 5 points to be considered a Cooter, but we want the Cooter with the most.
There was a cuckoo.
Once there was a Cooter.
He wouldn't come out of the closet after school.
Speaking about 90s, damn.
Yeah.
Check out that who is that Crash Test Dummies track?
Crash Test Dummies, baby.
Anyways,
Nope.
they have to hit one of the 3 of these 5 points. The points are manipulation,
What are
manipulation, smug arrogance, sexual deviance, overall look and attire, and overall patheticness. Boys, we are gonna have a hard time not finding a Cooter this week.
It's an embarrassment of bitches here this
Yeah.
week.
Let's
It's
start
everybody but Natalie,
at
really.
the top. Yeah, Tim. So sexual deviance, yes.
Yeah.
Manipulation, yes.
Yeah.
Smug arrogance, yes.
Yeah.
Aw,
Look and attire.
He
I
looks
think
like a
everybody's looking all
Lillard.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
looking
fine.
alright.
And then smug
Pathetic.
no, overall patheticness,
Patheticness.
yes, he gets
Oh,
tripped.
got-
Yeah.
He gets got.
So he's got 4. That's quite high. Let's see if anybody else beats him. So then let's go to Rand. So Rand
I
is
mean, he's sexual
Sexual-
deviant.
Oh,
is
yeah.
he?
Oh,
He
yeah.
tricks his girlfriend into thinking she's pregnant.
Oh
So
yeah, I
just
guess he
going
does
off
have
at
a
her.
hand in that. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Manipulative.
Manipulation,
oh.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Smug
Smug
arrogance, fuck yes. That's his highest, I think.
Yeah.
Overall patheticness, he gets an A, but his girlfriend dies.
I feel like just him as a human being is pathetic.
It's a
Kind
pathetic
of
person.
period. Yeah.
Yeah. And who goes to Harvard drama
For
school?
drama?
I don't
Yeah.
know, man.
Only losers.
Also,
Yeah,
hey,
pathetic.
quick note here, by the way. Why the it feels like the only reason he is the one saying that is because they wanted to end on that line, but he barely acts at all. Like he's
I know.
not. Or that's the
He
only
went
scene where
to
he's doing
Palm
any
Beach.
lying. Like,
Well, you
since
could
the
say he
beginning of
was
the movie.
acting. Okay, he was acting at the party because he knows his
Yeah,
girlfriend's not pregnant.
playing drunk is like the lowest level of acting, though. I don't
I mean,
know.
just like being mad in general at his girlfriend, acting like an asshole.
I think he
But
just
like
is
the
an
thing is, like I
asshole.
feel like that line should have been delivered by Chris logically, but they couldn't
Yeah.
do that by Chris because then they would have tipped their hand.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
he-
yeah.
'cause
He
they
was
wanted
a
to, like,
murderer.
cut back and forth and make you think that The plan went
Yes.
according to plan.
It really
and then
was
they're
just
like, "Oh,
trying to do
Chris was in it."
another meta thing that
Yeah.
landed with a fucking thud.
I
You're
think
like,
I'm gonna go to
okay.
Harvard for drama.
Drama. Like,
Yeah,
okay.
okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Come.
So, okay, so he just hit 4 too. Is that
Like, is
right?
Harvard even
Or-
known
I
for
would
the
also-
drama program? Like,
Do
you're
they
gonna
have a
murder
drama
people.
program?
I'm sure they
You can
have one, but I
study
don't know.
drama at Harvard.
Yeah, dude, it's
What?
a university. You can
Who
study drama
studies
in most.
drama anywhere?
I'm sure you can, but like, who
Jesus
fucking
Christ.
can? Oh, you went to Harvard drama. Like, what do you don't
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
get the
I don't
fuck out of
know,
here.
but
This movie.
Anyways.
This fucking movie.
Next is Chris. So also manipulation, yes.
Uh-huh.
Patheticness because he watches his girlfriend blow another guy, so that's pretty pathetic.
Just
Also,
I mean, I think he liked it.
well,
So,
then sexual deviance.
jokes
'cause-
on them.
The thing is, like, he's ultimately betraying both of them.
Is it?
So I guess he just kind of. Huh?
I think they were fine with it. Um, um, I lost
Where
my
were we?
place.
Smug arrogance.
Smug arrogance.
think,
I guess
yeah,
so.
that's just
Yeah.
well hidden though. Because we don't know his true intentions for a long time, and B, because the acting is terrible.
So he seems like the lowest of the three. So I think it goes Tim, Rand, Chris, and then we
I think
could
Tim
do.
and Rand are.
Yeah, I guess they were
together.
neck
I
and
actually
neck.
would
Yeah,
maybe even argue for Rand. That outfit he's wearing at the end when he's giving his little like
that's
speech,
true.
like, it's very like I don't know. It's like
That
the
screams
fucking-
of somebody who murders someone to go to drama school at Harvard.
Yeah, it does. It's a drama school murderer outfit.
I gotta
That's
study
fair.
drama.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay.
So I think he might hit all the points, but he's not as strong on some of the points as
Yeah.
Lord is on his.
Okay. Well, anyways, we got some cooters, and then maybe throw old Emma in there too for manipulation, sexual deviance for tricking somebody that they're pregnant. That's kind of a sexual thing, right?
Well, in blowing a dude knowing
and a blow, and yeah, cheating on her boyfriend. Yeah, good call. Okay.
intentionally to fuck with him.
And definitely manipulation, some smug arrogance. So yeah, she hits
Oh, yeah.
almost just as many. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think she's up there. The whole crew, put them in the
Yeah.
fucking clink.
Lock them up.
Classic
Lock 'em up.
Cooters.
Yeah,
we go.
2025. We got him. That was a lot.
that was a lot.
Proud of us. We did it.
We worked a lot of cooter cases tonight, boys.
We did.
We worked a lot of cooter.
All
right.
Let's
What's
talk
next?
about what we've been watching this week.
Hey gang, what you been watching?
Randy, what you been watching?
Well, let's see. Been watching Severance as it comes out. That show is very, very engaging and very fun. Been watching Lost, like I mentioned last week. Season 6 is still probably one of the weaker ones, but it's gotten a little bit better. A little bit more enjoyable to work through. Still, it's on the weaker end. Once I get to the end, I'll have an reevaluation of that probably, but I don't know. Anyway, The Wire. Started rewatching The Wire with a couple episodes. I may jump over to the Treme ship instead at some point. But,
Dude. I just finished Treme and started The Wire.
oh my God!
We are
Um,
the same.
We same. You me same. Yeah, but Beck wanted to watch The Wire, so we started there. I watched the Royal Rumble the other night, which was quite good fun. I did not win the pool. And then last but not least, watched Companion in theaters with Sophie Thatcher, Jack Quaid. I thought that was a pretty fun movie. I did not know anything about the premise going in, so I had a few surprises on the way. And I never watched the trailer or anything. I don't know how much was spoiled by that, but there's some. I wouldn't even call it a twist. I would just say like there's some aspects of it that I just didn't know going in that you find out about like the beginning of the second act or something like that recontextualizes things a little bit and sort of gives the main thrust of the movie. So it's not even really a twist. It's just something that I just didn't know and that they concealed right up front. Anyway, that said, I enjoyed it a good deal. I thought it was a lot of fun. It's not groundbreaking. It's not hyper original, but it is pretty good, and the acting in it is is good because I like both of those actors. I like actually the entire cast was pretty good in that. That's it for me.
Cool. Juice, what you been watching?
One of the first things I forgot to mention it last week, but I've been listening a lot to the new Mac Miller album, which came out a couple weeks ago now, called Balloonerism. And Mac Miller died back in 2018, and since then his estate has released one, two, three, four full albums after his death,
Damn.
and three of those are
Yeah,
like
man.
some of my favorite Mac Miller
Are we
albums
sure
of
he's
all.
dead, or is he just hanging with Elvis somewhere?
No, yeah, apparently he had a studio in his house, and he was one of those guys who like literally has just like thousands of songs apparently. And there's other producers like Madlib that he worked with that say like, yeah, I've got like a whole Mac Miller album that we did together. Like he just worked. He worked on.
Damn.
He died at like 26, so he just worked nonstop, always recording.
Was he in the
So
27th Club? Man, damn.
yeah, I know. So, but yeah, this new album is great, and not just that, like the artwork, the videos that his estate has like worked on, put together. Seems like they put a lot of love into it. So, really, really been enjoying that album. Um, I have been watching a lot of Korean reality television to practice my Korean, but also just to kind of get into like, I don't know, I've never really been into the dramas much. So I'm trying my hand at the reality TV. I'm watching a show called Singles Inferno, where some men and ladies go to an island. It's strangely addicting. I have been enjoying that in a weird sense. My parents,
Uh-oh.
my parents also like to watch reality like dating shows a lot, so they watch a lot of like the American ones. So I've been watching it with them, so that's kind of been fun. And then the other one is a show called Physical 100, but it's the second season, so it's Physical
I saw
100
some of that.
Underground or whatever.
Hmm.
And that one is fun because they take 100 different athletes. Well, they're not even all athletes. So some of them are Olympic stars, but they're from like gymnastics and weightlifting, and some are like just a cop or works in like the Secret Service, the Korean Secret Service, or like a bunch of just different physical people, and they put them through like these challenges, and sometimes they'll have like team games and stuff like that, and they slowly get eliminated. um so that one's really fun. There's a dude on there named Justin. He's like one of the like three white guys on there, and he's doing really well, so great job, Justin.
Goes by Soju. Real nice guy.
Really handsome, really good looking,
Has a
fit.
great podcast.
Yeah.
He's got a thick hog.
Smoking bod, but no, yeah, I've been enjoying that as well. But other than that, I haven't, yeah, it's just been reality TV these days, which is weird for me. That's not really my go-to, but that's all for me. Bob, what you been watching?
I'm watching Randy pet his new pup, which is
I know,
adorable right
adorable
now.
pups.
Behind the scenes, if you want to see a cute little puppy,
Wait, is
check it out.
that's not a brand new pup, right?
Oh yeah. No,
Like
he's like
today?
4 months old. Not
Oh,
today.
yeah,
No.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
4 months. No, I meant brand new, like a week. Like you haven't
Oh,
got it within a week.
yeah,
Okay,
the
got it.
third one. No, I had no.
Yeah, okay. Let's make it sure.
Yeah, he was
Behind the
a little
scenes,
son, so
motivation.
YouTube,
not
check it out.
happy in the lap.
Cute puppy. I've been watching a handful of things. There's a documentary on Max called Fall of Diddy, which is about all the fucked up shit that
Oh God.
Diddy did.
Oh no.
It is exactly what it sounds like. There's really,
Can't wait for the fall of Gaiman coming out next fall.
oh my God, dude. Probably no shocking information to be received from this, except for me. I did not know that they kind of alluded to Diddy maybe having a hand in killing Tupac. They allude to it. They don't have like
Oh
proof of it.
yeah. Oh
But
yeah.
there's like a lot of dudes on there telling a lot of stories about like the East Side, West Side drama. So I didn't know about that, but probably a lot of folks do know. Anyway, it was like 4 episodes. It was fucked up on Max. Check that out if you want to. I watched the Stavros Halkias comedy. It's a movie called Let's Make a Cult.
How was that?
It was okay.
Ooh,
Heard how kind.
I didn't love it. I think it's gonna be on Hulu soon. So if you got Hulu, just wait a week or so and it'll be on there most likely. Um, he's in a cult, and then he starts to make his own cult, and there's a couple gags, but the humor is very one-dimensional, and it got kind of stale for me. It was all right. I like his stand-up. I think he's a funny dude. I just didn't really love the movie, unfortunately.
He
It was
cracks
okay.
me the fuck up with his stand up, but yeah.
Yeah, it was okay. Like I said, already been watching The Wire on I think episode 10 of season one. I haven't watched it in years, so been enjoying rewatching that.
Mhm.
And then also I saw Companion in theaters and enjoyed that one quite a bit.
Cool.
I saw the trailer like
Of
once
all
when
the
it.
new horror movies that came out, we covered Wolfman.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah.
God
Wanted to see that Lee
damn.
Winnell joint.
It wasn't the worst one that came out in January, but it definitely wasn't the best either. Yeah, Companion solid. I would definitely recommend checking that one out in theaters if you can. Sophie Thatcher and Jack Quaid are just phenomenal leads, and like Randy said, everybody that rounds the cast out are also really great. I kind of thought it would be a little more surprising, I guess, than it was, but there are some interesting things that happen in the movie. So if at all possible, yeah, avoid the trailer, avoid reading about it, and just sit down and enjoy yourself. Yeah, good stuff. Check it out. It was somebody's directorial debut too. I'm blanking on his name right now, but for a
Hmm.
first time out with like a feature film, solid. Definitely look forward to whatever they do next.
Cool.
Drew Hancock.
Drew Hancock, thank you. Yeah, appreciate you. I think he's written a whole bunch of stuff, but this is the first feature length film that he
Well,
had.
that's like our
Oh,
boy Michael Felker, you know?
Your
Well, except
boy.
editor.
Yeah, edited a bunch of stuff. Shouts outs to your boy Michael Felker. That is about all I've been watching, boys. We do have two voicemails we got to get to, so let's
Whoa.
jump over to our hotline screams.
let's do it.
Hotline scream.
If you guys are listening and would like to call and leave a voicemail to be featured on next week's show, hit us up at 904 638 3231. First up, we're going to hear from Chris. Let's hear what he's got to say.
Yo, what up, boys? It's Mike from New York. No, I'm from upstate. But I'm calling for last week's prompt when it's not yours, Randy. I'm sorry, but Justin was on his feels about no voicemails, and he was trying to get some soju love. So, Justin, this voicemail is purely for you. Uh, I've been meaning to do this for probably a year. I hope I can fit it in. It was I was listening to the Scent cast, and you're talking about passing out from blood. So I got some embarrassing stories because I can do both, real life and movies. And if my brother wants to call and tell you about the time we saw Evil Dead 2013 in theaters, goddamn, that was a mess. But anyways, this is 2020. Started dating this new girl. I liked her. She was real cool. We were watching some stuff. She always watched Grey's Anatomy. I'm like, I don't know about this. So we watched that freaking Netflix movie in 2019. It's like Eli or whatever, 2020, and it was meh. So I'm like, yo, let's watch this other movie I already seen, Gerald's Game. So we all know what happens with the handcuff scene. So I'd already seen it, watched it. I'm like, all right, I got this. So it's coming up. I'm starting to get a little sweaty, a little lightheaded. I'm like, oh my god. So I do the next smartest thing, and I say, listen, I got to go to the bathroom. So I stand up, and I guess I make it halfway to the bathroom because I come to on the floor. And she's like, oh, you're alive. And I was like, yeah. She's like, what happened? I was like, well, sometimes I pass out from blood. And she's like, yeah, you probably should have told me that. And she's like, I think you shit yourself. I was like, what? No. She's like, listen, you had a giant ass fart, and I thought you died. So I've been staying there for like a couple months, and I reach around, I have my gym shorts on, and sure enough, fucking shit my pants. So I crawl to the bathroom, and I'm like, son of a bitch, how am I going to get over this? And, we ended up laughing about it. We've been together for 5 years. Got almost married too, so I learned a few things with passing out that if you're going to pass out, just stay on the ground. sit your ass down, because if you don't, gravity will do that shit for you. And also, if you can shit yourself in front of a girl and still get her to marry you, you got to keep her. So, yeah, I think I just passed out the other night watching stop motion, where the chick was doing that thing with her flesh in her leg. I was kind of drunk, but I was like, damn. And I'm pretty sure I passed out. Love what you guys are doing. Keep doing it, man. Fucking look forward to the cast every Wednesday. All right. Peace.
Dude, you
Damn.
got
Love it.
Bob right where
I was about to
Love
say,
it.
Bob was like, "Yeah, someone called specifically for you, Juice," and I was like, "That's a call for Bob." Let's be
That's a
honest,
Bob
here.
call.
That's a
Both of
Bob
us.
story. Bob wants to hear them. Remember, Bob wants to hear them shit stories.
I
Apparently, he
do.
loves
Dude,
to hear when people
Rob
shit
went
them.
I do.
full covering the mouth, barely stifling anything for a second there.
That's some funny
It
shit.
is very
though.
funny.
Thanks
Dude,
for
but
sharing.
could you
Good,
imagine
too.
though? Because really, if somebody immediately fell and then shit themselves, you would think that they were.
I
think they
definitely would think.
died, yeah.
I would call. I'd be like, all right,
Yeah,
ambulance.
how could
Calling an
she?
ambulance right now.
Yeah, how would? That's the only weird thing is. Well, I mean, I guess if you're at somebody's, yeah,
depends on how quickly. He
you would
wakes
think
up,
you
but,
would
like,
want to
Yeah,
call an
yeah.
ambulance. Yeah,
Yeah, he might have only been out for a few seconds or whatever.
sure, yeah.
I love that he's like, yeah, I have my gym shorts on, so I just reach around back there and yep, shit my pants. So I just crawled to the bathroom.
Oh,
Just
Just
suck this
crawl.
boy.
Also, bold move. You're with the new girl and just rocking the gym shorts, guy. Come on, I mean, we gotta step that up a
you
scale.
gotta have room for expansion.
I don't know. It depends.
Stay in the
Depends on
night.
what kind of rifle you're packing. I think you might want to show off a little.
Oh, I thought that was a dig at him not having much. Okay.
No,
Never,
like,
I
if
gotcha.
you
I
got
know
it,
what you're
flaunt it.
saying. I know what you're saying. Well,
if you got shit in your drawers, maybe don't flaunt that. Though.
I'm glad it all worked out, my guy. Actually, it's weird. Movie blood does not bother me at all. And actually, the other day, a friend sent me. She even sent me. She accidentally cut her arm like deep in a really bad way with like a box cutter, like so, like
damn.
opening some packages, and so it was a real wound, and it like you could see like muscle and shit, and it didn't bother me. It's only like in person.
Wow.
I know. I
You're
don't know
just
what it
like-
is.
You remember feelings?
I don't know what it
That's-
like. Movie blood does not bother me at all.
Movie
Like,
blood, just blood, doesn't bother me one bit. But like,
Yeah.
there are contexts.
I
Like,
mean, sometimes
you
I'll be like,
described that
"Ooh,
stop motion
shit,
scene, yeah,
you know," but
yeah,
I don't
exactly.
pass out.
And
Yeah.
Feel
shit your
second.
pants.
No, I don't really
I
pass
don't.
out.
I don't shut my pants.
I don't pass out, but I do squirm sometimes in a movie, and like it's definitely with real life photos and stuff. Like for some reason, Reddit decided that I wanted to see everybody's hand injuries this week.
Oh
and
God.
I'm still trying to fix that algorithm. I have no fucking idea why, but I'm just seeing like people's fucking like giant blisters and like just cuts
Ah.
and nicks, and it's like I hate it. I
Fuck,
hate it so much.
It's fucked up, man. Yeah, the dude, fucking Mike must have a hog if he can shit in front of a woman, and she's like, "I'm still marrying you."
Damn.
Wow.
no.
Good.
Maybe
for
she was
you.
in
You
into
may not be
it,
able to
you know?
control the back door, but you really got something
Ah.
up front.
Maybe that just opened up the relationship to a lot of new things. You know,
The old glass,
Glass
bottom
bottom
boat.
boats, baby.
it's hard to get closer than that, boys. You know.
You
I
are
mean, yeah.
correct.
If a first date will stick with you through that is worth pursuing. I gotta agree.
Yeah. That's a high bar. Don't if you're out there listening and you're in the dating pool, don't on the first date just say I'm gonna fucking shit in front of this broad, and if she leaves me, then it's not
This
meant
is
to
the
be.
ultimate
It's a high
test.
bar.
Damn.
If you don't
Yeah, say
love me
that's-
when I shit my pants, you won't love me when I'm clean either.
Jesus Christ. All right.
I might love you more, she said.
I know. So I think I said we were gonna hear from Chris first. That was Mike. My bad. Next up, we should be hearing from Chris. So let's hear what Chris has to say.
All right.
Hey, Sexy Dracula and the Straight Chillin' crew. This is Chris in Louisiana. I just got done listening to the Elves episode and with the prompt for the voice messages. The subcategory of So Bad It's Good is entirely my jam. That's probably my favorite subcategory of, horror movies.
in fact, or just, you know, movies that were just weird in general, like all through high school. The more salacious and weird the movies, the more that was what I was into, like the Greg Araki, Doom Generation and Nowhere. Those were like my personal favorites all through high school. I've kind of cooled off of them, you know, like new ones, but there's always like the classics, you know, the so good it's so bad. But the one that I wanted to get you guys onto, and I've actually, it's every time that there's a You Pick the Flick, I try to get a part, and I try to get a piece in there so I can recommend this and have you guys watch it. But it's called Miami Connection. It's a movie about a rock band who are also martial arts experts who battle ninja cocaine dealers in Florida. And it's filmed and made in the 80s. I always like I kind of have an affinity for it because every time I watch it, I just imagine if I was 8 years old and I did cocaine and I wanted to write a movie, like it would literally be Miami Connection, like 100% carbon copy. But and then it's like not really, it's horror adjacent enough because I feel that there's enough gore and practical effects in there to kind of warrant, you know, it being talked about on a horror movie podcast. But anyways, it's just bonkers. It's a lot of fun. It's really funny. And that whole category, like I said, the subcategory of so bad it's so good. I love it so much, and it's just fun. It's more fun than, you know, like serious things. But anyways, all right. Well, thank you for the show as always. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
You know, I have definitely heard of Miami Connection somewhere. I think that's got a pretty good reputation for.
It's got a
this
cult
good
following.
category.
Vinegar
does, you know,
Syndrome
this-
put out like a really nice edition of it. I've never seen it, but I've just heard rumblings. That'd be probably a pretty
Well,
fun.
now you have to buy 3
flick.
copies.
I gotta do it now.
What can you do? Your hands are tied.
Hands are tied, Bob.
They're tied behind my back,
Whoa.
just the way I like.
While I'm in the closet,
Wow.
watching my girlfriend blow Matthew Lillard.
While I shit my gym shorts.
And smell 30 Yankee candles all lit at the same time.
Just-
Gotta cover the smell
Just
of
the
shit.
way.
It's the
Mama
only
taught
way
me.
I can get off. Okay,
That's it. Damn, it's a lot of
it's
setup.
not my fault.
Open up a can of Whiff-Ass.
Yeah, thanks for calling in, Chris. That would be an interesting one, man. Hopefully you do end up landing a U pick and we can check that one out. It sounds nuts. Also, I'm glad that you were not on cocaine as an 8-year-old. That's not
Yeah.
ideal.
Coked up 8-year-olds. I mean, that's maybe a bridge too far. I don't think I can quite go there with it.
But I do want to see the movies coked up 8-year-olds might have made, potentially. I would like to see that.
All right, Miami Connection it is.
There you go. Yeah, thanks for calling, fellas. Again, if you would like to call in, hit us up at 904-638-3231. I gotta hear them shit stories. You got shit
Bob
stories?
loves them.
Call in.
I'm
Let us
surprised
know.
it's taking you so
The
long.
entire next Hotline Screen episode is going to be just Bob
Just 90 minutes of that. Just
90 minutes. Yep.
me
Bob's
going
gonna be
ape
so
shit.
anxious. He's not gonna want to cover the film.
Oh, I got
That's
one.
what I
Get to the voicemail segment. Can we do it first?
We got
Shit stories.
28 voicemails. We got to get to them.
Oh, next
Look,
week's
I'll
gonna
take
be
a
a big
piss
one,
story
though.
too. Yeah, no.
That is true. So yeah, we're gearing up for Valentine's Day next week, and we thought we'd do something to get all those lovers out there or potential lovers out there in the mood, in the spirit of the
Uh-huh.
holiday. Get everybody horned up. Get the engines revved. Get you sexually ready to plow. You know what I'm saying? And what
I know what
better
you're saying.
movie?
Sexually?
What
Only
better-
sexually?
Sexually.
But what if I
I want to
emotionally,
mentally plow
mentally
you.
plow.
I would just like to, clean out my front porch a little bit in
We're-
the snow. So
We're trying to help you guys get the strawberries in the buttholes.
Girl, I'm about to
That's-
mentally plow you.
we're gonna plow mental style.
emotionally plow. And
Man,
what better
Sounds
movie?
like I need to cook up a new story for the Slack. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
You got a long plane ride ahead of you,
That's
buddy.
true.
I expect gold.
That's true. I'll write a
But-
whole
Bring
novel.
a messenger bag to conceal your dirty doings, though.
What better movie to get you ready, to get you in the mindset to emotionally and mentally plow than Twilight from 2008.
Whoa. Here
What
we
could be
go.
better?
That's a big one.
Wow.
Also, too, on that note,
It's my big dick, so everybody get ready fucking now!
Randy wants some piss stories. Apparently, Bob wants the shit stories. How about we just have a Hotline Kings? Damn, I mean,
Actually, yeah, we
we
should bring that back.
got a
I guess we
Valentine's
could
Day
if it's
coming up.
Valentine's. That's a good reason. But I just like a shit story does not need to be romantic. I know that
No,
that's
well,
news
no,
for
I'm
everyone,
trying
but-
to kind of balance out both
No,
of
I
you.
hear you.
That's what I'm trying to do.
If you don't have like a
Trying to
shit
give an option
story,
to-
yeah, call in with a Hotline Kinks. It's been a while since we've done that. Valentine's Day is a perfect time. What are your kinks? What are you into? What have you?
Yeah, tell
crazy
us a
stuff you've
crazy
tried
sex
out,
story.
you know?
Yeah, what
Yeah.
kind of crazy?
I have
thing
a
happened?
daddy kink.
Tell us
Whoa,
that.
okay.
That's one of the OG Hotline Kinks. That stuck around a long time. Somebody sent us
Yeah.
an email. If you want
An
to send
email.
us an email, then
Yeah, you can call in and leave us a voicemail, or if you would like to remain anonymous, which makes perfect sense in a situation like this, you can send an email over to straight
Actually,
chilling podcast
email would be
gmail.com.
less anonymous because we
Well,
don't know
if you don't want
people's
people to
phone
hear your
number.
voice, like we would,
Justin,
Oh.
shut up.
you know,
Can you-
That's
It's a-
our fucking.
we're gonna know regardless. We'll see the number.
Well,
you
not
call
really.
from,
It's a
you
phone. I
know.
mean, I'm not going to look at somebody's phone number and know, like, ooh, I know who that is. But somebody's
Justin, we
email
need to
address.
fill out the dossier, okay?
Oh my god.
Let them-
God.
You
we need
can
as much
send
intel
it-
as possible.
You can send an email if you would like to straight chilling with a G podcast at gmail.com and just let us know, like, hey, I'd like to remain anonymous and we won't say your name and we'll read it.
Or you can use
or
a
you-
voice distorter,
Yeah.
Scream style.
Get the
Yeah,
ghost.
please call in with a
face.
voice distorter and tell us about butthole pleasures or whatever. That'd be
Hello,
great.
Sydney.
We're
What's
gonna-
your favorite sexual position?
And then I'm going to reverse it, and it's just going to be Bob.
Reverse it like that's possible. Hey boys, so I got this thing where I like to surround myself with 30 Yankee candles and I light them all at once in a closet.
All right.
We already know that, Bob.
We're talking about Twilight from 2008 next week to get everybody really fucking horny. Also, if everything goes according to plan, we're going to have probably the one person on the face of the earth that knows literally more about the Twilight series than anybody else. Our good friend Caitlin. Join us.
Oh,
She's
shit.
going to be on the show.
Oh, yeah. If you weren't already horned up enough, that
Now
should,
you
and that
really
should
are.
really take you over the top.
yourself!
I will not.
Many people say straight chilling in general is an aphrodisiac. They put it on.
Many
before
people
they're
say
gonna
that.
Plow. I've heard it. I've
I've-
read it. I've seen it.
Between the three of us, one of us is definitely your type, no matter who you are. So we've got that covered.
We're all so different.
Yeah. Yeah.
We cover
we
the
got
whole range
Every spectrum of
possible
person
sizes.
exists
We've got it
within
all.
these three white men.
One will hit it.
Yep.
You like weird laughs? Bob, he's got you covered. You like alphas?
Talk to me, baby!
Soju's right here. So,
You like boys petting dogs? We got Randy on the screen right now.
whoa.
Who doesn't like that?
Yeah, that's great. That's the winner right there.
You like extra drool? You like it dry? We got it all. We got everything.
it dry.
Oh man,
Famously like it dry.
check out Twilight. Get ready for next week's show. Hope everybody's real horny and having a good time out there.
That's what I hope.
Call in 904-638-3231. Also, I finally recorded a fucking like voicemail greeting for our
Oh, really?
hotline
Oh,
screen.
that's been an option.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I've been meaning to do
Oh.
it for like, I don't know,
like a
8 years or
voicemail
whatever.
message or whatever.
Yeah, so when
Or
you
vo-
call
or,
in, you get a
yeah.
greeting before you leave a voicemail.
Okay.
Does it sound like
Colin?
this?
That's exactly what it is.
Ah, this is the right number.
Call in
That's,
and
that's like one of
see
my
what it
favorite
is.
bombs. It's so perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I think
Yeah.
that does it, everybody. Have a good week, and until next time, keep fucking chilling.
And of course, when I say skank, I'm talking about the ska dance.